Hello, everyone. It's Tuesday, December 17th. Thanks for being with us. And I've got several different things. I'm going to go through them pretty quickly here and everything. But you know, I'm sure by now that we've lost Darrell McGraw. He was a Supreme Court justice. He was our Attorney General in West Virginia for a long time, 20 years. He was our Chief Justice for a while, and I've known this family for a long time. You know, if you come from Southern West Virginia and you didn't know the McGraw family, well, you must have lived in a cave. A good family, a really good family, and so we'll miss Darrell McGraw Jr. and all that this family, gave in serving West Virginia. So today we honor him. I have ordered flags to be flown at half staff in Charleston and in Wyoming County in his honor. And like I said, in so many ways, a good family that gave so much to the state of West Virginia, and we should be respectful in every way. Today, I'm happy to announce that West Virginia's First Responders Honor Board has made its recommendations for this year's newest Medal of Valor recipients. And there's two folks here, but Officer Donald Lawson from New Martinsville Police Department and firefighter Daryl Lambert from Lake Volunteer Fire Department have been nominated, and so for this unbelievably prestigious award, and so we congratulate them. We congratulate all of our first responders and the job they do. I've said it 10 million times. You know, when we're in trouble, who do we call first? And who comes running to the fire in every way? These folks, no matter what your problem is, they come with courage, and they come absolutely running to your rescue in every way. God bless each and every one of them. Donald and Daryl should be so proud, and their families should carry this absolute prestigious award with them forevermore. Absolutely, that's all there is to it. The Medal of Valor, is surely no ordinary award in West Virginia. So, great stuff, great stuff. I just came, I'm sorry. Today I'm announcing that the Water Development Authority has approved 24 projects in West Virginia worth a total of $67 million through the Economic Enhancement Grant Fund in West Virginia. The largest of those is the city of Ravenswood. $32,325,000 wastewater treatment plant. And then it goes down from there, but the town of Ansted, $4.7 million. Harrison County, PSD, $2.5 million. Mason County, PSD, $2 million, and there's many more. But with all that being said, and I just think, with over $595 million that we've approved for projects, resulting in a staggering, now just imagine this, $2.3 billion worth of funded initiatives in the state of West Virginia. Absolutely, touching 600,000 folks. That's a third of our population in West Virginia. We've done a lot of projects, and have been a lot of good. And all I would say is, let's keep it going, West Virginia. Let's keep it going. The great employees of the state of West Virginia deserve this, and we want to make sure that everybody understands and can make plans and everything. But I'm happy to announce that I've decided to make Christmas Eve instead of a half day, and New Year's Eve instead of a half day, full days off for our state employees. And so enjoy your families and everything. You deserve it. You've done great work. Our monster trout winners I'm tickled to death to announce them. Great goodness, I spent so much time on the waters of this great state and loved it with all in me. But Steve Davis of Lashmeet, Donovan Miller of Salisville, Katie Rice of Morgantown, and Caleb Sheelick of Dallas, West Virginia, Kenneth McInnish of Crown Point, Indiana. Look at these fish. My gracious sakes living. Is that not a gigantic fish and everything? In our waters in this great state. So all these folks and everything, be really proud of these gigantic fish that you caught. And you make us, by catching these great fish, and we send your pictures out and everything else, more and more and more folks come to West Virginia to try to be you, to try to catch the next monster trout in West Virginia. Because there's lots of them out there and everything, and the waters of this great state harbor absolute great fish and then great experiences for our anglers. So there's great prizes that these folks have won and everything. We congratulate them in every way. Another wildlife issue here is our turkey harvest this year. The number of turkeys that we were able to harvest in West Virginia was significantly up. Well, that's saying, all that's saying is hats off to our DNR and all the great work that they're doing. But not only was it was up by 17%. Really good. So I'm excited to announce that hunters in West Virginia harvested a total of 1,130 turkeys in West Virginia. That's more than 967 from last year. It's up 17%. Let me tell you this, and I've probably told you this story already and everything, but just stay with me just 1 second and just think about this. I think it was 1976. Now, I had hunted my entire life, but I'd grouse hunted and quail hunted all across West Virginia and trout fished everywhere under the sun. I had never seen a wild turkey in West Virginia. Never seen one. And you're talking to somebody here that nobody's been in the woods more than me. There's no way. I had never seen a wild turkey in my life. And in the spring of 1976, with Roscoe Weichel, an older fella, at that time, we went to a place in Monroe County, and lo and behold, all of a sudden this turkey was gobbling like crazy, and I had a little Lynch foolproof box call, and I'd chirp on it a little bit and everything, and it kept getting closer and closer and closer, and then some way, somehow I got it. 21 pounds, 4 ounces, and I was bit with turkey hunting love like you can't imagine. Absolutely. In that season, I believe there was a little more than 300 turkeys harvested at that time. Now, this is the fall season, which is a very, very limited season. Across the state of West Virginia now, I think we harvest in excess, I think that it's in excess of 10,000 turkeys. Now, think about that success story. Jim Justice, a guy that had been in the woods more than anybody, or absolutely more than most people, had never seen a wild turkey in 1976, and now they're everywhere. It is amazing, amazing what our DNR folks have done. At 1 p.m. today, I'll be doing the certification of our election, and basically the certification is certifying the overseeing and signing off of West Virginia's general election results and everything, and I'll be doing it at 1 o'clock today, and it's the official thing that we've got to do, about our electoral college votes and everything, and so I'll be taking care of that at 1 o'clock. Tomorrow we're going to be in Huntington, and Kathy's going to do the last Friends of Paul's, giveaway, or not giveaway, but dog that's going to be moving into a school in Cabell County, and it'll be a great celebration, great day. That's 45 45 wonderful, wonderful, dogs that assist those children all across the state. And so what a job. What an incredible job Kathy's done. And we're really, really proud because it's amazing. If you really and truly go to any of these schools, just ask. That's all you've got to do. Call up one of these schools where they have a dog and everything and ask and listen and look at the list of all the schools that want a dog, because they know how much that can make the learning process for our kids better. I just got through at the school building authority, and that's why, with the sewer and water projects and everything, they're real close to one another. One was 67 million, one 65 million. But I just wrapped up at the school building authority, and we just approved, the school building authority folks and everything, $65 million in construction work and everything, 4 new schools, 8 current, facility upgrades and everything. Lots more great stuff by Andy Neptune and all of his staff and everything. They've done amazing work, and I think if you zoom in on that check and everything, the check is for like $1.1 billion and everything. But over the years and everything, that's what we've been able to do, all across the state of West Virginia for schools, and making a commitment of just what I said I wanted to do on day one. Put a stake in the sand. Education's our centerpiece. We sure got a ways to go, but there's a lot of stuff, a lot of good stuff going on in our schools, and right here's testimony to just that. And the other thing is, just a few days ago, we were in Boone County, $40 million to our rural hospitals and grants that, the largest grant was Minnie Hamilton Health Systems was $11 million, but a lot of folks, that are moving forward with helping out on our rural hospitals, and if you'll just step back from it and you're really honest, the rural hospital is the lifeblood of community after community after community in West Virginia, and I don't know where we'd be without them. They do amazing work, and they should be very, very, very proud. So there you have it, and that's all I've got for today. We'll take your questions, please.
Governor, thank you. First up today with a question from our members of the media is Charles Young with WV News.
With WV News, I saw that Dr. Matthew Christensen announced his resignation yesterday. I was wondering if you had made a decision yet. Are you going to appoint a replacement? Are you going to leave that up to the next governor? If you made a decision there yet? Thanks.
Charles, I think we should leave that to Patrick and his team. It's too tight and everything, and I think they'll do a good job picking somebody, and I think that ought to be their pick. So that's what we're going to do.
All right, thank you, Charles. Next up is Mark Curtis with Nexstar Media.
Good afternoon, Governor and fellow reporters and staffers. Governor, I want to get your take on this possible scenario that in the first 13 days of January, we could theoretically have 13 people serving as governor. I know Stephen's shaking his head, but I have to ask, because the Secretary of State's office ran through this today, that if you took the oath of office for the U.S. Senate on the 3rd, you'd have to step down, and Craig Blair would temporarily be senator or governor for like 5 days, and then Randy Smith for another 3-4 days, and then Patrick Morrissey for beginning January 13th. So I just want to address this from the standpoint of, are you planning to resign as of January 3rd so you can take the Senate oath, or are you going to wait until it's time for Morrissey to take the oath and then step down? And what is your assurance, what are your words of confidence to the people of West Virginia that the continuity of government and transition will be smooth, even if we actually have 4 people in this office over 13 days? Thank you.
Well, Mark, I haven't made a final decision. I'm sure leaning, one way. I feel this very strongly. My commitment has always been to the people of West Virginia, and You know, I love our people. I've said it many times, beyond good sense. And they've entrusted in me, and I don't think that they deserve a whole lot of chaos. And so we're trying to figure it out on how all this would work, but it is a quagmire a little bit. But I'm sure we can figure it out and make it happen smoothly and everything. But right now, I've not made a decision, but I'll do that very soon. We do not. The people of this great state don't deserve anything but goodness in my book. That's all there is to it.
Thank you, Mark. Next up is Amelia Nicely with West Virginia Watch.
Okay, not me. Go on, Bill. Hi, Governor. I want to say Merry Christmas to you and your family. I wanted to talk to you about public education. More than 24 schools could close or consolidate next year due to the student population loss and funding issues spurred by that. And we also have the lowest teacher pay rate in the country. And Governor-elect Patrick Morrisey has said he plans to focus on school choice during his tenure. And I just wondered what your thoughts are or hopes that you have for public education next year. If there's anything you plan to do from DC in regards to public education in West Virginia.
Well, first of all, Merry Christmas, and thank you so much for your extension of that to me. But let's be really fair. Through my tenure, we have raised teachers' pay five different times, 5% each time, 25%. And with all that being said, we've surely had a little bump the last couple of years because the legislature took the route of we wanted to move PEIA to an 80-20 plan, and but with all that being said, I am rock solid, behind choice, and giving our parents and our students choice. We got to be really careful because there's a balance here that we want to make sure that we absolutely protect, our public schools, our private schools, our charter schools. We protect all, and there's a way to do it, but it's it's not easy to do, and I've said so many times, this job is not easy to do. This job is not about getting a gold star for perfect attendance and screwing it up. My dad would have said so many times, don't confuse effort with accomplishment. He would say, son, I don't care how hard you try. Let's absolutely achieve. And so with all that being said, it's a hard job. The balancing act is difficult. If we don't watch out, we could leave a lot of folks behind. And we could hurt a lot of kids. And that would be a crying, pitiful shame. Like I said, I am rock solid behind choice, and I am tickled to death with all the strides forward that we've made there. And but at the same time, it's not easy. And so let's continue to do exactly what I've said so many times. Make education our centerpiece. You see, I said that on day one in my first state of the state. Well, what did that really mean? And really, let's be so fair. It meant that everybody on the outside that cast stones at West Virginia and said West Virginia can't make it because their teachers' pay is so horrible, or conditions are so bad, or their schools are so bad, or we're grading the schools A through F, and we have some A's and some F's, but most of our schools are C's. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. We change so much stuff. Now, can we make it better from here? Absolutely. But it's not easy stuff, and you've got to really be on your game and everything. But at the end of the day, make education our centerpiece took us off in many ways in this state. And the reason it took us off is it took us off to changing our image to the outside world. We knew how great we are, but we had to change our image to the outside world. And I absolutely believe that, and then I'll be quiet about this, is there's so much good going on in our schools. You see, I'm a coach. I'm in our schools all the time. I see it everywhere. The kids love their teachers, and their teachers love their kids, and the community loves its schools. You know, with all that being said, there's got to be a lot of good going on there. Now, can we make it better? Sure, we can make it better. Is the money an issue? Sure. Is it absolutely a possibility if we don't watch out, we're going to leave a bunch of kids behind and hurt them? That's bad. That's really, really bad. And that's not going to happen on my watch. And I hope to goodness it doesn't happen on anybody's watch going forward, ever. So, but it's tough. It's a tough job.
Thank you, Amelia. Next up is Emily Rice with West Virginia Public Broadcasting.
Good afternoon, Governor. I just wanted to ask, as you leave office, what do you think, in your opinion, is the most pressing issue the 2025 legislature and Governor-elect Morrisey will need to address?
Well, this would really surprise you. You know, it's simpler than maybe what you'd think. You know, you've got 34 senators, 100 delegates. You got a lot of people with a lot of different opinions. Everybody wants to get up and rant and be on their soapbox and everything and act like, you know, that they've got it all figured out all the time. And I would listen. And I would step back and I would try to listen to everybody and take recommendations and have surely confidences in your inner circle of people. But at the end of the day, and this was Amelia, is that correct? Is that right, CJ?
This is Emily Rice with West Virginia Public.
I'm sorry, yeah. Emily. Please forgive me. But Emily, when it really, really, if you step back and just think, well, how does the wheel really turn? The wheel really turns, and I've said it so many times, around, you know, Toby and Edith. And you say, well, Toby and Edith, well, I mean, they're the voters. You see, at the end of the day, you know, I've surely listened to our legislatures, but at the same time, I've stayed in touch with Toby and Edith all the time. All the time. You know, when our legislatures almost as a whole, you know, probably thought the Roads to Prosperity thing, there was no way it could pass. And Toby and Edith said, nope, we're doing this by 73%, or right at 73% of the vote. You know, when Amendment 2, they said it's passing for sure, 100%, 100%. You know, all of a sudden, Toby and Edith said, nope, we're not doing that. We're not doing that because it'll destroy our counties. And it would have, you know. So absolutely, you know, Emily, here's the thing. You have got to keep your pulse on the voters, because absolutely with all in me, I will promise you to God above, they get it right. They get it right. And we've got to some way get it right, because if we don't get it right, we won't keep the momentum going. We got to keep the momentum going. That's all there is to it. If we don't get it right, we will lose our momentum. And if the wheels fly off, trust me, this will turn into a mess, and it will turn into an absolute impossible job almost. You know, we got to be really careful. We got to be really smart. and we got to listen an awful lot to Toby and Edith because they get it right. So with all that being said, we can't be too smart. We can't think, well, we got it all figured out here in Charleston land. You know, I don't believe that. I've never believed that. That's why I'm on the road all the time. Emily, imagine this. Imagine. I have driven myself. I have paid for my gas. I've paid for my food. I have absolutely driven myself over 1 million miles. 1 million miles since I've been your governor. And for anybody that doesn't believe that, well, find something that I've told you knowingly that's not the truth. Please find something. You know, when you drive yourself 1 million miles in the state of West Virginia, you know what Toby and Edith are doing. And you know what they expect of you, and you know what they're thinking and everything. And really and truly, that's what I believe has been the secret to an awful lot of the goodness that we've been able to pull off here. That's what I think you need to do.
Thank you, Emily. Finally, today is Steve Adams with Ogden Newspapers.
Yeah, Steve Adams of Ogden Newspapers here. It looks like an effort led by Senator Manchin to try to get permitting reform included in the continuing resolution, the Fund the Government Through March. Looks like it's not going to happen. That fell through last night. I've talked to Senator Capito before, who, of course, is going to be the chair of the Environment and Public Works Committee going into the next Congress next year. I know work is already being done to try to get a permitting reform package through the Republican majorities. I'm curious to know already this early on whether you've been in any talks with Senator Capito or perhaps fellow Republicans in the Senate regarding what you would like to see perhaps in a future permitting reform bill. Thank you.
Well, Stephen, first of all, you know, Merry Christmas to you, and you look like a doctor today. You know, I mean, you look pretty fancy day in there and everything. But Stephen, you know, if I don't have the opportunity to tell you before I'm out the door, and I hope I'll talk with you several more times. But thanks for all you've done over the years, and thanks to all the media in every way. But I would say just this, you know, I talked to Shelley on Sunday for almost an hour, and we talk about all this stuff, and you know, we have got to have real life permitting reform. I mean that's all there is to it. I don't know all the specifics, and so maybe this is you know, me being out over my skis a little bit, but why at the last minute, you know, as Joe's going out the door, why now? I mean, why now? Try to get permitting reform. Why not 3 years ago? You know, I mean, in all honesty, you're going to probably think this is crude, but but people in the federal government, you know, it is unbelievable. I mean, you know, we can't figure out what to do on anything without a year, 2 years, 3 years, sometimes in excess of 3 years, you know, in a permitting process that just goes on and on through agency after agency after agency with many, many folks purposefully just churning it. Because the more they churn it, the more folks are employed, the more agencies, the more, you know, it's just crazy. Now, it is absolutely teetotally crazy. You know, and so if we don't get some reasonableness all across the board in government, and thank God Donald Trump was elected, Thank God we flipped the Senate, and thank God we've held on to the House. And you're going to see a lot of things change, and hopefully we'll be able to put this country back on the tracks, and put this country on tracks that made us great at some point in time, many years ago. And so our founding fathers set this country on tracks. And I believe they have flipped over in their grave 10 million times, especially in the last 4 years. So let's try to do something about it.
Steve, thank you. Everybody else, thank you as well. Governor, back to you.
No, I could go through a whole bunch of stuff and everything. Like I said, I don't know how many more briefings we'll have, but God bless each and every one of you. Merry Christmas to you. Have an absolutely safe and wonderful holiday with your families, and if any of you are hurting and everything, our prayers are out to you in every way. Take care of a veteran if you have a chance and everything over this holiday period. God bless you. Thank you.